Hi guys, today we'll be doing a breakdown of the Halloween Kills teaser trailer that came out a few days ago, and I'll be answering some of your questions.
Everybody's a suspect!
Coming to get you, Bobber.
So a few days ago, as you all know, that the Halloween Kills teaser trailer was released. I would have done this trailer breakdown a few days ago, but I didn't really feel too well. I didn't feel well when the trailer came out, but I done a video on it straight away. But I left it a few days for a couple of reasons. One, just to absorb all the information, and two, just so I can feel a little bit better when I'm doing this. So I'm going to be answering some of your questions as well. You did leave a good amount of questions. I think it's about 60 questions that I got, or 60 comments at least. And I said I would answer your questions. So I've chosen 10 questions to answer. A lot of the questions were repetitive, but a lot of the comments were just about the dissatisfaction or the surprise of the movie being delayed. So there's no point in going through all that, because I'll discuss all of that anyway within the questions. First up, we'll do a trailer breakdown. It's only 30 seconds long, so it shouldn't take too long. So the first scene that we see is the pumpkin. There's not much to comment on other than the fact that that's a callback to the original Halloween 2. That's about it. It's got no other significance. Next up, we've got what looks like Sheriff Brackett. Now, there is questions as to why we're seeing Sheriff Brackett in the middle of the road. Are we seeing him because of the aftermath of what Michael Myers done in Halloween 2018 as a callback to the original? It goes back to all the scenes where he killed someone in the original. That's what that could be. So we might just see a lifeless body of Hawkins. But also, what's the point in showing Hawkins if you're not going to show him again? I think that we're going to see Hawkins again. I think most of you think we'll see Hawkins again. I don't know if that means he's survived that. I still think he's possibly dead. If he's not, then great, but I think he's still possibly dead. But I still think we're going to see Will Patton as Hawkins in 1978. So we're definitely going to see Hawkins whether he's alive or not. This is a questionable one for marketing purposes. Why do we have the balloons here? And then when we see the balloons, you've got that little Pennywise It score in the background. I don't know if that's intentional or not. I would suggest it wasn't intentional if the balloons weren't in that specific scene. But it looks like they've intended to do that. Now, obviously Pennywise and It is owned by Warner Brothers, so it's got nothing to do with Blumhouse or Universal. I just found that a strange choice. But I also noticed that on the closest set of balloons, on the strap of the balloons, you can see blood. I don't know if nobody's mentioned that before, but you can see blood on the string. Unless it's a red string, I don't know, but it looks like blood on that string. Here's another shot of the burning building. The reason I'm showing this is because it looks slightly different to the last tease that we got with Michael standing on the porch. So this looks like it's going to be after Michael escapes, because as he was escaping, the house was still on fire, obviously, but this looks like it's got to the point of no return. Well, it looked like the point of no return in the last image, but this looks like the final part of this scene before the building eventually collapses or whatever. Obviously the firemen or the firewomen couldn't save the building. They couldn't get there in time, or they did get there in time, but something or someone stopped them putting the fire out. Here's an interesting shot for me personally. You can see Alison with the knife with the blood on it, and her hands all bloody as well, and she's sitting the way she was at the end of Halloween 2018. But one thing that they didn't take into consideration was this. There's the scene there just as the movie's ending. Hardly any blood on her, on the knife or on her sleeve. So that's a continuation error. Obviously, I'm nitpicking here. That's a continuation error unless they decide that she's sitting there, she goes to help her grandmother who's bleeding to death, and then puts her hand back in the same position again with a bloodier knife. There's no other explanation. Here's a nice shot of the fire trucks passing by. I do like this shot because of the shaky cam motion that we've got here. That's something that you don't always see in this type of horror movie, so I quite like that. And the last two shots is obviously just her shouting, "Let it burn, let it burn." There's confusion there. Some people think it might be "let him burn" and "let him burn," or "let him burn and then let it burn." The more I listen to it, it sounds like "let it burn." And when they say "let it burn," I'll quickly touch on that. Personally, I think it's "let the house burn down." I know that she's quite a drama queen, and she likes to put a spin on things like the shape. It is the shape. So she could still be talking about Michael, but realistically, I think she's probably talking about the house itself, because I don't think she wants to embarrass herself at this point in time with her granddaughter and her daughter sitting there, and obviously the fire truck's not been able to hear her. So let it burn. Let's just assume, or I can assume, that she wants the house to burn down. This is the new title. I don't mean the new title as in Halloween Kills is a new title. It's a new font and a new design of the title that we've got. I quite like the kind of flame scratch work and the actual frame itself of the Halloween Kills, so that's quite nice. And obviously here's the money shot of Michael. Again, the first time I watched this was on my small laptop, and I was just looking at it once, and I thought, oh, he doesn't have any burns on him. But obviously when you brighten it up a little bit, which I've done here, then you can see there's burns on his neck and at his left hand side. And obviously if he turned a little bit further, which he didn't do, but if he turned a little bit further to the camera, you would see probably most of the left hand side of him is burnt. Maybe not burnt badly, but burnt enough to know that we know he was burning until he survived or escaped. And then the final shot is the new release date, October 15, 2021. And obviously the new one, Halloween Ends, has been pushed back as well to October 14th, 2022. Next, we're going to go into the questions and the answers. Obviously, I'm going to read out the questions that you've given me, and I'll answer as best as I can. Again, this is kind of live. Obviously, I'll edit this video, so I'll need time to think about the question if there's anything a little bit dramatic. So we've got Mash Tier 10 has asked, I mean, the longer we went without a trailer, the more that this was a possibility. It shouldn't be that surprising. So yeah, he's talking about we never got a poster, we never got a trailer, and it's July, so we obviously have to assume the worst, that the movie's just not coming out, and that's what he's basically saying. So yeah, I agree, the longer we waited, the more we knew that the movie was going to be delayed. Mike Smith has said, so heartbreaking that this has become reality, but if this is what's best, then bring on 2021. And yeah, that's a positive attitude, Mike. That's what we have to agree with. You know, they've decided to make this decision. Let's make the most of it. Let's make the most of it. And 2021 should be a good year for horror. Dave King has said, this is heartbreaking. I still think they could have done a release on VOD, then next year release Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends as a double feature. When you charge 1.5 times the price of regular movie tickets, that way Kills still gets a theatre release and some profit, while Halloween Ends gets all of the theatre profits. Just a thought. A lot of people mentioned this one, David, and this is the reason I put this one in. Yeah, I mean, they could have released it anytime they wanted, but they were still very stringent and strong belief that October was the date or the month that they wanted this movie to be released, because that was their stance for Halloween 2018, so they can't really go back on that. Yeah, they could have released in July, they could have done anything, they could have done a VOD, but I think the way to make the most money and to please the fans when October comes around, not this October now, then I think we'll all be satisfied if it's a good movie. Mr. G has said, this is a good one, I'm okay with this. Why? Because I have no freaking choice, lol. And that's true. You know, we have to be okay with it. We can't, I've seen some people put up petitions to get the movie released earlier or get the movie released on VOD. Personally, I think that's silly. The studio have made the decision. It's their decision at the end of the day, whether you like it or not. I don't mind it. And we have to wait now. So we've got no choice. So let's just be happy with it now. Anthwood Mania has said, with the news that Halloween Kills will be pushed back a year and a teaser released, will Blumhouse be able to keep that hype and momentum for a full year with all the casual audience? Will all the casual audience lose interest because of the pushback date? No, I don't think they will. I think for the casual audience, they probably don't even know about Halloween Kills, or maybe they do, and they've seen a little teaser trailer, and they'll put it at the back of their mind because they're a casual audience viewer. So when it comes round to bringing out an actual trailer for it, which might not be until May or June of next year now, I think they'll go, oh, I remember that from last year, I'm looking forward to seeing that, that looks like a good movie. So the casual viewer won't lose interest because their interest hasn't been piqued fully yet. I think their interest will be piqued round about next year. So yeah, I think it's an okay thing for the casual viewer. It's the hardcore viewer that are suffering most, because half of them are happy with the news and they're willing to wait. The other half are not willing to wait. And I'm not saying the people who are not willing to wait are not fans. I can see both sides. I can see why people are happy with it, and I can see why people aren't happy. That's why we're all die-hard fans at the end of the day. Bri Channel has said, sad times and like seeing the teaser trailer. Do you reckon they will also hold off showing the full trailer and release it closer to next year's release? I don't think so. I think that they're going to show a teaser trailer a little bit earlier than they did for the 2018 movie because they want to build up that momentum again. So I think maybe about May we'll see a teaser trailer, and maybe July we'll see a full trailer. I might be wrong, they might just do a June standard trailer, but I think May and July are dates to look out for. John Piasso della Merte Reynolds, I'm really sorry if I butchered your name. You've said, I just had this sickening feeling that it was going to be delayed. The main issue I have with this news is what if the world is still in chaos by next October? Another Halloween Kills delay? I don't know, is the answer. I don't think they'll delay it twice. I think that they've stuck with their guns with October 2021. And if we're still in chaos by next October, which there's still a chance that we might be, I think they will do a VOD at that point. I don't think they'll have any other choice. Shelving the movie for a further year, I don't know if that will be good business for Blumhouse, Universal or the Halloween franchise, because the money has already been spent on the movie. And to shelve it for so long, they might end up scrapping something like that, no matter how big the project is. So we're just going to have to wait and see, obviously. But I don't personally think that they would delay it again. I think October 2021 is the ultimate date now. John Doherty has said, so we'll be getting Scream 5 first? Who would have thought? I don't think we'll get Scream 5 first, no. If movies are being delayed because of COVID, that also means movies from 2021 will also be delayed. I don't mean the release dates, I just mean that when they start production and when they start filming. So if we're still in this issue for the next few months, I don't think Scream 5 will be able to start filming until next year anyway. So if it starts filming next year, if it does, then you're not going to be looking at a release in 2021 for Scream 5. That would be pushing it. I think 2022 for Scream 5 would probably be the most realistic release for any movie that's going to start filming in the next few months, if they can start filming in the next few months. And even without COVID, I don't see Scream 5 beginning production or filming yet. So I don't know, it might be 2021, but it's highly unlikely that the Scream 5 will come out before Halloween Kills. Drill Sav 11 has said, why no VOD? Already waited 2 years, either that or release Halloween Kills and ends as 1 3H plus 1 3-hour movie next year. Again, this is the reason why I don't want to answer all the VOD questions, because there is a lot of VOD questions. Why no VOD? Because they need to make money. They don't know how much money. They're obviously going to make a profit whether they release it on VOD or cinema, but with the amount of profit that they made, the amount of percentage of profit they made at the cinema for H18, they can't risk VOD. So I think that the cinema release is their best bet to make as much profit as possible. Ricky Montgomery has said, this delay is about nothing but money. Ridiculous and infuriating to have to wait another year. Delay Halloween for a year but release Candyman in its place. Bad decision, plain and simple. When it comes to Candyman, I'll touch on that first of all. Candyman has been put in the place of Halloween. I don't see Candyman coming out in October. I think that's just a placeholder. They want to keep that safe as a date, Blumhouse or Universal. So I don't think Candyman will come out in that date, and if it does, they obviously don't see Candyman as being a big enough movie to care that it needs a theatrical release. So if any of them were coming out in VOD, Candyman would be the one, but I don't see Candyman coming out in October. I still think that's going to be delayed if they want to bring it out in the cinema. Now your first part, Ricky, you've said this delay is nothing about money. Ridiculous and infuriating to have to wait another year. And I did mention there are die-hard fans, and I'm not saying you're not a fan because it's infuriating and ridiculous. Some people might see it that way, and that's fine, Ricky. But what I don't agree with you is this delay is nothing but money. It's about nothing but money. Well, obviously that's the case, and that's not a bad thing. The movie business is out there to make money. They need to make money to get their profits back, and they want to make money. So if you were any movie company, any movie studio, if you ask them, do you want to make money on your movie? They're going to say yes. This isn't an independent movie. This isn't a fan film. This is a Hollywood produced movie. So yes, it's about money, and they make that obvious. They don't hide that fact. It is about money, and I would hope that it was about money. That's just 10 questions that I've chosen, guys. Again, a lot of them were similar questions, or they were just people telling me about you know, the disappointment and the delay, which again I can understand. But again, thanks for everyone who was commenting, and thank you for everyone who participated in the question and answers. I totally always appreciate that. So leave your comments down below, guys, for all your opinions on what I've said today, all your opinions on the teaser trailer that I mentioned at the start, and obviously if you have any more questions, leave them all down below. Anyway guys, thanks a lot for watching again, thanks for subscribing, I'll see you soon, bye bye.